Well, hello people, and welcome back to part 35 of Rannoch of another Boreal build. Hope you're having a wonderful day. And just hanging out in the dirty back streets of the port of Rannoch, which was built recently as we started exploring this side of the strait. There's a tremendous viewpoint from here now as well. Last episode's thumbnail was a real treat, wasn't it? The Virgin Diamond heading over the bridge has become a very fun little sightline. I also realise you can take this metro station now all the way over there to that airport there, which is also a very cool sightline, isn't it? But Rannoch is growing up, but today we're going to jump back over the other side of the strait, where there is some gymnasium spam waiting for us, which I'm sure you'll see over here. Which has to be said, this obviously isn't a build, but I think there's something to be had here with a spam of these and perhaps a particular shape with a centralized asset. I think it might be a nice campus development. And we are going to actually start the episode with a campus edition today, because that campus spam was for the new unique building, the School of Environmental Studies, which is going to look super cool around here. So we'll start with this, but today's build is going to revolve around this waterfront as we add in, I think, some older fishing wharfs. We want to develop this park space here as well, and then alongside pay some proper attention to this green space as we develop this very green open area of the downtown. That's going to include some really cool buildings, I think. Fantastic. So in terms of how we want this building to be orientated against the highway here, let's first of all clear away these trees. I think I kind of want it long ways, if you like, so let's have this side of it exposed to the highway, I think. Let's bring ourselves a nice fancy road in here. We'll do grass lining. We'll bring it behind these. We'll send that down there. And then we'll have the building here. I think I do want it flipped around, so let's bring in some nice tree road here. Cool. I think that's going to be pretty perfect there, isn't it? Real big important orientation point here with this asset. Exactly what I was wanting it for. Just that kind of immediate huge building off the highway. I like that. Very important, isn't it? It does look very nice up against this RT as well, kind of from this space too. Let's go ahead and give it some car parking. Big building like this will always deserve it. We'll do one. I mean, two, it fits and sits. It was meant to be, wasn't it? This building is exactly 2 car parks wide. Yes, please, everyone. Let's get some tree lining through there too. I'm going to go and end this road here at the pathway, I think. That should be a really nice design. And let's do something a bit extravagant at the front. I think maybe silver birch, actually. Always a strong shout, isn't it? Yeah, super. As a monorail is also being introduced into this part of the city as well. Where is the current metro system? So we'll have a metro stop over here too, and we'll begin to converge that with monorail. Speaking of, actually, let me show you guys the central station. Now all those new metro stops have been added in recently. It's even busier. It's super cool. Very busy. Leave it on 3-speed here and you can just enjoy the Rannoch walking pond for a hot second. Isn't it just incredible? I could sit there and watch that all day. The best asset in the game. And scary thing is, it's not even as busy as it's going to be yet. Still got a lot more to go, including today's additions, which will help it to get even more insane. So let's plan in some transport infrastructure here. So in terms of what I want to happen, I'd like to build in some older fishing industry here. Now we do have these delta patterns, which we've talked about before. This is eating up quite a lot of real estate, I think, where I want a lot of density to sit. So I don't think we will do the delta pattern here. I guess we could do it just down this one. keep these ones straight perhaps. I think we'll go for that, but I'm not going to bring it down this one because I want this real estate around this area, but we'll do it down here. So let's move into a terraform here. Cool. So we now have another major body of water to feature here. It will flow a little bit backwards until we can get a stronger water flow coming down the mountains, which will eventually reverse it, start to stabilize around here now, but otherwise a nice feature for us to blend in. Which brings us back to working with this way. So I did mention that I would like some sort of fishing wharfs down here. I kind of want them off of this road here, so we'll go to, I think, some classic industrial road. Let's bring that just off here. I would like to pick out a little bit of a height, so it's slightly higher than the arterial this way. We're going to bring this 4-lane road a little bit closer to the highway, so we can have this crossover as a local connection. I'd also like to start including some slip lanes around here too. Because this interchange won't hold enormous amounts of traffic, it's already starting to get busy at its current size. So some slip lanes will certainly help it. We can also probably apply some in here as well. Got some nice room for a little lane here. So we'll do that today as well. Actually get across there in one kind of nice 36 movement arc. Don't mind that at all, and then we're pretty much at the tile boundary here. But this 4-lane road will carry on going. And then we move into our 81 tile Rannoch beyond this point, which will be a continuation really of whatever ends at 25 tiles here. As all these arterial networks come out, so we've got a full graveyard over there as well. So it's like this area is quite reliant on that graveyard, so we probably need more death care over here. Let's just destroy the graveyard. Which you can do with the Natural Disasters DLC, if you didn't know. Although, I hate this mechanic in CS1. It's such a nightmare. Having to replace the graveyards every half an hour of gameplay. So this will bring us back into 81 tile Rannoch. Alright, we'll definitely kind of disperse into country vibes out here. So we play some really interesting patterns. I love the highways out this bit of the map. Very kind of windy and curvy, aren't they? Yeah, so if we're going to have the arterial at that height now, let's create a little bit of land mass for fishing wharf to take up. I'd like it to eat into a little bit of this hillside as well. Because we've got the lighthouse here, which is the purpose of having this fishing wharf here. So to kind of guide the ships back into harbour, I think it would have been nice for them to come out here. And I wouldn't mind actually terraforming out a bit of a breakwater. Where could we put that? Guess maybe out this way might be quite tasty. Could actually build kind of a little entrance out here. I have to buy a fair amount of soil for this, but it should be worth it. When it starts flooding will give us a pretty interesting shape. I'm really happy with that actually. Now on the inside we'll have quay walls, and the outside will build up a bit of a breakwater, I think, which should give us a really sweet looking harbour on the end of it. We'll sort out a lot of the rock work during our D10 talents. I wouldn't mind a road out here actually. But let's get some fishing in. Now I'm after a more kind of older industry vibe out here, and I think that the salmon fishing harbours kind of look the oldest of all of them. I think we'll spam some salmon, and we think with the red brick we could probably get some in level 1 industrial evolution stuff down here as well today. There's land past salmon harbours. We'll have one here. A bit further down. And then one sort of on the corner here. And there's also a lot of shellfish too. Do you want just one shellfish harbour? Yes, I think we will. There's a lot of flooding across the whole city. And goodness me, the interchange has thoroughly flooded. This is a very sad moment for the city. It'll evaporate though. It's fine. There is a pumping station in the port. It will arrive. That's super. So let's configure these with roads. We will grab our industrial road. And then we'll bring a road into this little bit here. And then I have visions of a gazebo this side of the harbour, which will probably bring a pathway up into this space here, which is what I want to work on next. So I'd love this to be kind of a historical lighthouse, perhaps. Tourists can come and see. Or we just expose a couple of animals here. Fantastic. Got the wolf. And the bear. Brilliant. I love the animals. Holy smokes, this is a super busy harbour, isn't it? It's about to get even worse. So we're going to allow it to converge with the metro network in a second. There's more bears over here too. So I do want this to be a recognised park area, so let's give it a park main gate. And I want this to be... Can we get it on this corner here? Feel like I'll enjoy it there. And we'll go with classic park life pathway. We'll send this around and down to the marina. So I think I want the buildings on this road here to be a little bit more kind of modern and have been gentrified from what they were. Whereas the port still remains all a bit old-fashioned-y. So modern buildings around here. Maybe even some more unique. So I feel like the Africa in Miniature Pack might hold a lot in store for us today for this build. And then with this, we'll allow the dirt pathway to come up the hill. There's a bit of an old walking trail up toward the lighthouse. And yeah, I think I just want it to be one layer, and I think I might even just actually make these sort of hills and ropes a bit more severe on a bit of a cliff face there, so it's like that dirt pathway is sort of the only way up to the lighthouse there. Yeah, a little bit of hills. We'll do some more rock work around here where the pier joins the park, if you like. Should be a really cool area to walk. Maybe we'll have a first person walking tour down this shore one day, getting closer and closer to the downtown. We're just going to name this park and the lighthouse after a wonderful patron, Christian Loria. Thank you for your support, Christian. You are a real blessing, my friend. And I hope you enjoy this whole park space named after your good self. And so with that there now, I want to come into a bit more terraforming, and I'd like to make the bit of the lighthouse here just a bit more pronounced with the cliff face. Because I have kind of ideas here for a bit of a viewing area, I think. And then we'll probably slow that one out a bit. Also rock work around here. Let's also take back some of the trees, because I want the view to be fairly open. It would be around a lighthouse, right? And then I want to come into nature reserve here and add some fun props. So let's grab the nature reserve log bench. Light some out here with plenty of information signs on what it is you're seeing, what the lighthouse kind of used to bring in, various sort of just tourist information signs around. I bet actually no. Could we? It's going to be too big, isn't it? I think. Thinking maybe the Nature Reserve Museum. We do need a level 5 Nature Reserve, which we don't currently have. Where are the Nature Reserves? It'll be the Phoenix Gardens and Botanical, won't it? That's a Nature Reserve. Summit Trail, yeah. No, I don't think we will. I think we'll use something from... And again, you know, I reckon we can just use one of the cabins. I'll probably be quite happy with that. If we just have that there. Yeah, I think that's much more discreet. I think the Nature Reserve Museum would have been too big. Kind of dwarfing the lighthouse a little bit, which is what I want to avoid. That's going to be quite cool. Yeah, and then some classic Art Life wooden circular benches out here, just as a bit of picnic space, perhaps. And a couple of nature reserve bins as well. Maybe let's add some public binoculars here. You can see across the strait. Taking that rock out of the way. But this should have a really cool view as well, shouldn't it? Let's get on these benches here, reading about the information. About the Kila Salai mountain range, of course. Isn't that great? Such a good view. Port looks really nice over there, doesn't it? And then, of course, skyline and the downtown beyond that. There's going to be a lot of little really nice elevated parks around Rannoch. We're obviously doing this one today. There's the one on the other side of the downtown that we haven't worked on yet, this little space up here. And then the headland the other side of the bridge, if we do turn this into a park space, which I think we might do one day. I think it would be really cool to see this space come alive with people walking back to, kind of from work, under the bridge, kind of really urbanise it, if you like. We definitely will do that, I think. But, yeah. It's been a surprise point. There will also be another one down here. So there's going to be lots of these wonderful little park spaces littered across the Rannoch Straits, which I think will be a really nice little unique feature for the city, won't it? And then we come back at the end to look at a finished Rannoch. We'll fondly remember the elevated parks, I hope. Yeah, this stuff's pretty great. I'm pretty happy with this. Just simple collection of tables. Doesn't need to be anything more. They're here for the lighthouse and they can have a fun time up here. And of course, by placing assets, we'll also get people walking up here too. I think I maybe want to replace the pathway though for Nature Reserve Trail, because it'll have lights on it. Loose moose and bears in this park, so enter at your own risk. Gonna be a close encounter here. Thankfully the moose spares her life. Would not have been a good first day for the park, would it? So with this park space here, which is still part of Laurier Park, I want some more modern, cute buildings down here. So we're going to definitely put these on some roads, and I can think of the building I want to use actually from Africa in miniature. Let's bring out a road that comes up to the monorail. Open up our unique buildings, and it's going to be this one here. The Silver Tower is very modern. There's a lot of good Africa in miniature buildings that would suit this space actually. I might just place a few of them down. Could do one of the weird little monuments too. Yes, I'm liking this one here. Yeah, so I want to play with some of these. How do you connect to the road? We want you there. I want the road to wrap behind this one, I think. So let's leave 3 spaces. And we'll connect into that pathway there as well. There we go. And then, of course, a bit of airport apron. just to really tie things together. Oh no, it collides. Of course it does. Of course it collides. It's okay. We can detail that with trees instead, though. Then with this one here, I wouldn't mind having this on these pedestrian bits, perhaps. We'll want a pedestrian area, which is fine. We'll have one right here. That'll be okay. We did also mention as well that because we have buses flowing through here, we had a comment mentioning that I think we would have some dedicated stops on both of the lines immediately outside, which is a fair point, so we'll do that too. Also gives us quite an interesting shaped pavement there, doesn't it? Which is a nice happy little surprise. This one next door, I would love to have this kind of on this straight section here. So I want it to sit pretty flush within this space here. How about that? Delete that, and then just have it sat there. You could even go for full fancy road here, actually. Why don't we try the After Dark one? Maybe with one of the African trees. Possibly. Then just as another feature space of the park, if you like. Does this cloud with airport aprons? It does. Of course it does. Would have loved to have just made all those things look a bit more walkable with a wider plaza, but it's a sign not to use them. It's a sign not to use them. I'll take it as that. Let's take the traffic light off there too. I think that's some fairly nice additions. We might use some of the nice Apico assets here. I do want this park to kind of feel like it's a little bit of an art exhibit itself. And I'm sure there is a building that might be suitable here that I'm probably not considering right now. I think we mentioned during the build Theatre of Wonders, the Modern Art Museum would look nice down here. Maybe we'll have this actually partnered with our monorail system that we'll have a look at now. If we had this opposite the School of Environmental Studies, it's okay there. I do want it at a slightly different angle though. Let's make sure we leave enough room for the monorail station. Let's have this. How far down do we want it here? The first stop will be there. Let's leave it at least a good few blocks, maybe. Right at the end there. Might be a better shot for it, actually. And then I think I definitely want this building to sit just right alongside the monorail here. That's definitely the vibe I was kind of wanting to create. Let's send that one straight into the road with the School of Environmental Studies. That'd be quite nice. Yeah, it's really starting to configure that there. And then plenty more modern buildings through here too. Let's bring this road straight down along the back of the monorail. And then we can use it as an excuse to bring this road to a close too. In terms of more modernist zoning, we could do a bit of green cities down here. Actually, perhaps think wall to wall might actually be a bit more appropriate. Actually, let's not forget more campus assets either. We would have just unlocked some more as well, right? What did we get? The Liberal Arts Academic Statue. Let's have that there in the middle. Liberal Arts Library is also quite nice, isn't it? I wouldn't mind having this kind of in the park space as well if we make that bit campus. Yeah, you can see the footprint of that campus climbing away down here now, can't we? And there is people visiting the lighthouse. Wonderful. It will also have liberal arts fountain, which, and speaking of nice campus assets, I wouldn't mind having this in the park as well. A nice big fountain, which I think I'd like to make a bit of a song and dance out of that actually. So let's bring campus area into this park space here. Of course, the benefit of the campus assets is they sit on pathways, so kind of campus and park life are two assets that blend in just so nicely together. So let's give it a bit of a platform to rest on. Let's have our campus fountain right in the middle. And then let's find a space to come up either side. And then just connect that into all the places that we want. That should be quite a nice little park feature, I think. Quite node intensive, but it's okay. We'll save some nodes by working with just so much green space today anyway. Okay. But the difference is now, rather than that just being like a prop fountain, is we can have you know, people come and sit at this fountain now, which will just make the park, again, just feel that much more alive, right? I've really enjoyed integrating the campus into this part of the city. You can kind of see it now, can't you, too, with the little spots of red roof you can just identify in the skyline. Blends in very nice with European assets, too. Anyway, very, very happy over a single fountain. Let's get the monorail moving. And we also need to do the fishing lines as well. Take it over there. Wonderful. That's the first monorail line, and of course let's not forget about the metro that we talked about earlier. we did want them to converge today, so I don't think it's got to be anything major. Really wish that would fit there, even though the line's above it. Oh, it does. It does. Oh, perfect. Let's have that there then. I'll tell you what we will do is actually just draw up where that goes, right? And an airport apron. Am I going to be able to get one in today? Yeah. Perfect. Fantastic. Yeah, we'll have that there, and that's going to give us a really cute little metro space. Let's get that connected in with the wider metro network. Superb. Now we have the metro. There's already people walking down here, actually. I mean, it's quicker to walk back to the ferry. That's where you're trying to get to, isn't it? That's okay. I think I'm happy with that. I think to complement the modern art vibes around here, I think some water wall would go in quite nicely. So we'll use fancy non-parking roads for this. Again, I'm trying to create density here. Cool. I think we can actually open up the back of that metro station then into a little public transport plaza. You have to have some fun with that, with detail and whatnot. And then with this one here, let's give it the old district. And then we'll have a look at those slip lanes too off the highway that we wanted to look at. Probably all around here we'll run with water wall. Let's go with the commercial specialization. Let's go with there. And then let's zone in. Doesn't really matter really. Let's go for a whole bunch of the blocks. So we've lost a little bit of the there we go, that restores it. And then let's get all that painted out. Super. So this stuff should pair quite nicely, I think, with what we're trying to create around here. The murals will really help with kind of the gentrified modern vibe we're trying to go for. Yeah. Tell you what, I found a really nice viewpoint that you guys wouldn't have seen yet. I was hanging around the transport plaza when I loaded into the game. And over here now it's just so busy, we've not really seen this transit plaza since we first built it. Now all the high density's in it, so it's all busy. And it's all built up. Isn't that just a cool viewpoint, right? Especially across to the downtown there. Very, very sweet. Check this out at night time actually. We should have a little look. Treat ourselves. Oh, yes. I do enjoy a bit of nighttime Rannoch. Isn't that fun? Love this city. It's turning out to be one of my favourites, as it turns out. I did think Orchid Bay would take some beating, and I think I do still enjoy Orchid Bay the most out of them all, but Rannoch is quickly becoming closer and closer to Orchid Bay every day. Special. New buildings are sitting in quite nicely here as well, aren't they? Oh, especially with that monorail cutting across. Goodness gracious, everyone. Absolutely wonderful. Yes, so let's focus on some slip lanes. I will want to give it entrance as well to the harbour. Let's do this. Let's slope this up to that level. And then we'll give that a connection so they can get back in. And then with the highway slip lanes, I am going to have another interchange down here. But this will be down here. I don't want it as close to this one, just here. So major interchange again will be this way, which is where this road will also plug into. But between the two major interchanges, I'm quite happy to have a little slip lane that comes off here, just to help alleviate some pressure. Let's go straight on here. We're going to come up to that one, and then let's bring that into the road there. And don't probably stick with one lane. So just little slip lanes like that to help take pressure off. We could also make this multi-directional, which I think I probably will. I'm going to have a two-directional road coming in like this. And then let's have this peel away, run parallel, and then connect in again before the bridge. And then both of them in like that. Fantastic. And we could go asymmetrical highway here actually. I think we will do. Give them that extra turning lane there. Fantastic. Cool. I might even change this to be highway road as well. I'm not sure. We'll see what develops out here. It's not really time to be thinking about that yet. But those slip lanes will certainly help. Still getting a little bit of flooding. But either way, it feels like a place with detail and time lapse. I want to tidy up the areas around the museum and the environmental building. Alongside fence up the park, get some more props and cafes around the foot of it as well. Maybe even bring a pathway around here actually. I think that might be quite cool on kind of a separate layer as a coastal walk. Sort of back into the pier where the bears and the wolves have taken refuge as their habitat is slowly destroyed every week. And then detail at the port, tons of rock work to do around here. Just want to make a breakwater and a bit of detailing, and I might expand this network across the river as well, so we have some frames to play with for next episode. But a really interesting build with kind of some older fishing wharfs, a memorial kind of landmark park, and some more modern gentrified spaces against the highway. Got tons of detail to do, so grab yourself some snacks and settle in, and I'll see you in a second. Right guys, let's have a little detailed review around a really unique part of downtown Rannoch. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I did end up going with shellfish harbours all round. The salmon did eventually dissipate once the water had slowed down. If you didn't know, the fish spawns definitely is tied to how fast the water moves. But either way, you can't really tell regardless, can you? Really fun to see little fishing boats coming in and out of the marina. I really do like the just visual representation of like moving industry. Exactly the same thing with the ore cranes over here. I love that they're animated and they move. It makes it seem so much more alive, doesn't it? So the waterways continue to get busier alongside many cruise liners, which are really barreling in. Perhaps a sign we need more inner city connections. But beyond that, we have a little gazebo, a little bit of bench detail down here. Again, a super popular gazebo. The people of Rannoch can not get enough of these things. Again, that has really cool views. Seeing one of the fishing boats heading out to the sea there. A little bench and viewpoint out over here at the end of the quay. With lots of rock walls, which do sort of deform the water a little bit in some instances. To create that breakwater, which I really like the shape of the marina here. Inside the yard, we have another warehouse yard here, which is storing plastic. For the recently added seafood factory over there, which we'll get to. And a bit of industrial evolution, which some of it has abandoned, which I'm going to keep in, because it's kind of the whole vibe I'm going with this waterfront. Kind of the rest of the area around it has been gentrified. But the, you know, the harbour is still kind of working local industry. Yes, a bit more industrial evolution all down here. Another storage facility storing fish for this factory, which sits in now, dropped in a little statue here as well. Perhaps it's a emblem of the harbour or something. And then we have an expanded detail palette here, dropped in an airport apron out the front of the factory. And then similar collection of props, did a little bit of a gate with some of the vanilla industrial fence in here too. Just a happy little expansion of the factory before it spills into this big green belt, which we'll get around to in a second. Lots of green cities residential around here. With the monorail ready to pass over into this. I think we'll put kind of a big stadium over here. Developed this interchange much more as well. There's some extra slip ramps coming up and over here, just to help take the pressure off of the road a bit further down. And this will eventually meet this road over here too, before we do arrive at another major interchange down here, I imagine. But that is future planning, yeah, but I was thinking maybe a stadium on this this headland here. Maybe one of the big grand ones, I think, right by the water overlooking the downtown might be pretty sweet. So possibly a stadium build. A bit further down that road. Beyond that, the metro and the monorail are converging with 54 people here and 93 people here. Not a mega busy part of town just yet. There is some detailing through here, some planters, benches, food. I love this bit here. How people are like walking between the stands. Doesn't that make such a huge difference in vanilla? Again, thank God for the airport apron. Really love making little walkable parts like this. Just a hotel in as well. Two of them actually. There's one behind over there, you'll notice. And then there's one right here, in amongst all the wall-to-wall. It's a really nice fun plaza around the monorail and public transport here. A bit of high-density commercial that spills onto the park with the police station, some car parking here too. More detailing through here with those plaza spaces. And then we come into the park itself, which has a little just sort of arrivals area. There's an info booth here, some chess tables, general seating and recreational space. There's a playground further down the pathway. Then you can go in multiple different directions here. You can head up to the lighthouse, you can drop back down into the harbour. You see some people walking down from that lighthouse there as well. Just saw that moose spawn in. Did you see that? He just spawned in then, didn't he? That's hilarious. Wonderful. So they will carry on spawning here, which is good. The moose are still loose. There's a little football pitch over here, and if you look closely enough, you'll also see some corner flags. They are there. And then this comes back to a little bit more of a road design like we did with the front of this one. The African statue. Some classic rock garden work in here just to fill some space where the pathways come out of that statue. Leading just to this whole really fun walkable space, which is really nice. There's plazas over here. Blended in kind of the back of this academic library into. You can also come around the side of it, and then, you know, just walkable space up to the doors and where you would expect to be able to walk around a building like this, right? Some car parking next door there as well. Yeah, it's a really fun, organic, green park space. There's that fountain we placed during the episode as well, and then all these pathways span off back into the old town district as you emerge into the campus here. And then you can start walking around downtown. I really like it. It's turned into a really fun space. Definitely what I had in mind for this. I knew as we were developing this area that I'd want kind of this bit here to the left of the arterial just to be mostly green as it flows down. I think we got so much buildings in here from pretty much this space all the way into the city, right? So I'm really happy with how it turned out. And then we have this pathway down here too that links out back to the park. Then they can walk around the bottom of the lighthouse if they wish, as that moose runs away. And yeah, there's links back down where there's also wild wolves over here as well, so do be careful around Laurier Park, and then that drops you off at the back of the seafood factory. So a really fun space using some unique buildings today, industry, residential and commercial. With public transport, a real kind of awkward space filler episode, but it has turned out really nicely. I'm a big fan of Old Town Rannoch's Harbour. Massive shout out to the patrons that support the channel with the roll calls about Golden Eggs, Louis Adlam, Andrew Perez, O'Hay Casino, Phoenix MD, and Bad Wolfo. If you want to get involved in that, links down to Instant Gaming and Patreon are the best ways to support the channel, should you so wish. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. As mentioned, it's a real kind of example of what to do with awkward spaces. We had some gnarly terrain here with the lighthouse kind of hill, if you like. And I think today's closing scenes are a sign we might need some more cruise terminals because they're just barreling in to that single one on the downtown waterfront. So maybe a bit further down the coast we can have some more capacity for cruise liners because they clearly want to arrive here. Beyond that, it's always fun going out the downtown, and there's still plenty more projects over here before we kind of call an end to what would be the 25 tile spaces this side of the map. But still plenty of life in Rannoch. Thank you for continuing to enjoy and support Cities Skylines 1 content still every week. It's always just such a pleasure to read how much you all enjoy this every Monday, so thank you for that. That alone makes this series worth making, so I really appreciate it. Otherwise, please do enjoy today's cinematic spot. I'll shut up and leave it there. Let's thank you all so much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.